You're gonna get hit with the unexpected in Mario Strikers Battle League. So much fun, it hurts. Mario Strikers Battle League, only on Nintendo Switch.
Welcome back to Retro Rebound. In today's video, we're going to a more modern game. It's been since the end of March that we've done a modern Nintendo Switch game review because they haven't released anything. So it's been since Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which was much better than I ever expected. Today, we're talking about the latest Nintendo Switch release, Mario Strikers Battle League. This is one I've been really looking forward to. This may sound like an obscure reference, but ladies and gentlemen, I was excited because of my experience with the FIFA Street series. I loved the one that EA Sports did back in around 2013, 2012. That game was awesome with the World Cup mode and all the moves you could do. It was a ton of fun, and I've just realized growing up, I love the more arcadey sports games. I grew up on the Midway games where your character would set on fire and you'd punch people out on the base path, and MLB Slugfest or NHL Hits where you could just knock people out and get power-ups. I love this style of game. And in fact, we made a video here on Retro Rebound. It didn't do that well, but it was talking about the era of EA Sports Big and how I'd love to see those types of games come back. So I was very excited to see Mario Strikers return, especially as someone who I think I bring the unique perspective of here, that I've never played the Mario Strikers series. Many of you know I am a very strange Nintendo fan. While everyone talks about Pokemon, I talk about Mega Man Battle Network. While everyone talks about their time on Pikmin, I talk about Naruto Clash of Ninja on the GameCube. So I have this adoration for stuff that Nintendo's produced. It's just not your typical Nintendo IP, but they're exclusive content on their platforms. So Mario Strikers was one I never experienced. This is my first time. And I know we usually celebrate games here, but I don't know how else to put this. I'm just really surprised Nintendo's selling this game. I love what they did with Mario Tennis Aces and their kind of career mode. I think that one of the best games last year was Mario Golf. I love that game. I put a lot of hours into Mario Golf. I did Mario Golf betting with my friends. We'd put money on games. We'd get into tournaments together. It had a nice career mode. Was it as good as Toadstool Tour on the Game Boy Advance? No, I'm not going to sit here and pretend it was a hardcore RPG like that, which speaks to my soul, but it was dang good. And it felt like there was something there at the core. But with Mario Strikers on Switch, it really feels like this is a pure example of Nintendo selling us a skeleton and putting the meat on it later. It is not enough to sell us mechanics to a game. It is not enough to sell us the core and say we'll build on it later, which they have been doing ever so slightly year after year, getting a little more egregious with it. And to me, this is where I drew the line, and I don't have it physically here with me because I am swamped with work. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to make it easy for myself, buy this digitally. I broke my golden rule. I do apologize. It is the first time I have done it in probably years, to tell you the truth. Outside of review codes I've received from companies for my Mr. Matty channel, I haven't bought a game digitally in a long while for my own convenience. But this was a rare occasion for that. And it was a moment, the reason I bring this up, where I was just like, I want to return this. It's not a bad game. It's just so shockingly bare bones. So let's talk about that in depth. When you fire it up, you go to the main menu and you'll see there is a quick battle where you can kind of do exhibition modes. There is cup battles. Think of like Pokemon Stadium, right? Remember back on the Nintendo 64, Pokemon Stadium had a stadium mode where you'd go and fight through a bunch of cups, the Poke Cup and the Great Ball Cup and so on and so forth. And it was the same base game. You were just fighting for a different cup and the AI played a little differently. So you had to strategize a little differently, but the core Pokemon carried the experience. That was fine in the late 90s. Here we are now in 2022, and Nintendo kind of took the same approach here. So each cup has a different style of play. Some are more technique-based, some are more speed-based, some are more strength-based, which means better defense. All these stats we'll get into in depth, but what happens is each cup demands you play a little differently, build a different team comp, and that's well and fun, but it's just that. It's like a spicier exhibition mode. And then there's the gear settings. You go into the gear, this is where the stats become a thing. I was really pumped when I first saw this during Nintendo's marketing of the game. You'll put gear on Yoshi, and each of these pieces of gear will augment their stats, and increasing some while sacrificing others. So as you become quicker, you become less strong. So you'll get around the pitch really fast. However, it's at the cost of your strength. So when you go to tackle someone and get the ball and play some defense, you're not going to do that as well. So you don't want to build a whole team based off that. So the stats are very much reflected in the gameplay, and that was a nice feeling there. But you can do this right away. They give you 400 coins. You get coins by winning exhibition matches. You get coins by winning the cups. And as you win all of these cups, you'll spend it on these gear settings. And you'll change all of the different party members to play how they want. And it's fun because you can do little twists. You can make Donkey Kong a really speedy scorer, or you can make him like how I did, which is this big hulking character that's just knocking everyone over on defense, just playing in the backfield and going crazy and passing the ball upfield. So there is fun levels of customization here, but it really is a moment, and I don't say this lightly, where in the first hour of the game, you have seen everything it has to offer. And this does sting a little bit more because I just played the Fire Emblem Three Hopes demo, and I was in awe at how much content they give you before they draw the line and say the demo ends here. I put 4 hours into that demo, no exaggeration, 4 hours before they said, okay, we're going to stop you there. And with Mario Strikers, I'm like, I played an hour, and I feel like I've seen it all, and I'm so disappointed because it's a game that's good at its core. We'll talk about the gameplay experience now, but I just feel like I should have waited till November when they added more fields, more customization, more modes, just like they did with Mario Golf. Because Mario Golf was another example where I thought there was at least meat on its bones and enough to chew on it before content came. With this one, it was just like, wow, I'm already feeling like I'm out of things to do so quickly. And that was a really sad feeling because it's a fun game. Let's talk about that. So Mario Strikers is very much arcade. You have straight passes that are on the ground. You have lob passes that go up in the air. And you can do combo passes. So if you time things out well, the ball is going to be flying all over the pitch. And you can time this out with like a lob pass to a strike shot, and you'll shoot it into the corner of the net. And it feels really good. It's mechanically responsive. So as you're charging up different attacks, you can aim where the ball is going to go. You can put some serious curve on it. If your technique is good, you could shoot from like the side of the net and just whip it in. So again, mechanically very sound. And when you combine that with the gear system, there's a level of customization here and player agency over how all these different Mario characters play that it can make it fun to go back to a variety of matches, especially when the AI is playing differently each time. However, just like, remember when I brought up FIFA Street earlier, just like in that game, it's weird because there are very specific parts on the pitch that if you take a shot and you aim in a specific area, that it'll go in. And even the AI exploited that from time to time. And so I'd have moments where they just kick the ball from the half field and it just roll in. I'm like, wow, that's kind of like a weird staggered pace. It's interesting because to keep the quick pace, the field needs to be small, which it is. And so you have moments where you're like bouncing back and forth off of each other, and it's a real back and forth game. But then all of a sudden, when the goals start ringing up and you score, and you're like, yeah, let's go. And then they just score from the half field. It's just like a stop and go traffic type of thing where I feel like the game loses some of its flow. Where I feel this game is at its best is one last mode that I haven't talked about is the online club mode. So you can get you and your friends, you can make your own online Strikers club. And when you do that, you can go online and play other people's clubs. So none of my friends bought this game, wisely so, I'd say. So I decided to join a club online. And what's cool is you can use other people's customized characters and you can take them into your club and play other people online on behalf of your club. And I just think because the mechanics are so sound, this is where the game shines the most, as you have real like back and forth games, the mechanics being used to their extreme. And I just enjoyed that the most, for sure. That's where I was having the most butt clenching moments, like, oh, he almost got me there. That was a lot of fun. And it made it where the AI was not the problem at times, where I was just spamming hyper strikes left, right, center, wherever I wanted, and they were going in. And so of course, playing against a human makes it a little more challenging. For those who don't know what hyper strikes are, there are these anime moments in the game that are epic. So you'll have to get a little power up on the field. There are items you can find all over the field, your mushrooms, your turtle shells, and you can use those, the bananas, whenever you want. Think of like Mario Kart pickups, but they're here on the field. And I thought that was really awesome. And one of them does give you this power up that is available for about 20 seconds. And when you do a fully charged shot and you release, it'll do this hyper strike. Like I said, anime in its DNA. It's amazing. And then when the ball gets kicked at the goalie, if you shoot it straight at him, you'll see him like holding it back, slightly getting pushed back in the net. I don't know how many people played Captain Tsubasa, the game that came out on PS4 a couple of years ago. That game was awesome, by the way, but it had a little bit of that energy. So that's the other thing, is I've played these arcadey or anime sports games as of recently, and I just don't feel like Mario Strikers holds a candle to it. I think it's kind of embarrassing that Captain Tsubasa is a game from Bandai that they're not even known for sports games, and they made not only a really great sports game, but like a strategic one with the anime flair, with the arcadey flair, a lot of modes, career mode, a story mode. And then here's Mario Strikers, who's like, here is the sports game, the skeleton of it, 3 modes, if you will, and that's it. I can't believe like this game didn't have a career mode. That made a lot of sense to me. I don't know why this didn't have a career mode. I don't know why they didn't have modes that were playing with the tools that are already there, like an item only mode or a super fast speed, everyone's constantly on the mushrooms mode. I don't know. I just feel like they had so many tools at their disposal and they did the bare minimum. And it's weird because, again, looking at Mario Golf, it felt like at least there they had enough to ship with. This felt like it could have used a number of months to just produce more content for the game. Again, I know a lot of people are not going to watch to the point that I said it, but it's not a bad game. That's not why I'm disappointed. It's that there's not enough here for when you put down $60, you got to feel like you haven't seen it all in the first hour. At least that's my read on it. And also, when you look at the competition surrounding it, it's got to offer more than that. So walking away, I was just like, you know what? I'm putting this on the shelf, or my digital shelf, because I'm an idiot. I'm putting this on my digital shelf, and I'll see you in like 5 months, and we'll see where the game's at then. Then we'll really, truly deem if it's a full-on disappointment or not. But right now, at launch, I just can't say I was happy with my purchase. And if you've looked at the Retro Rebound reviews, since we've started with, I believe it was Pokemon Legends Arceus, it's our first negative review on the channel. And you know, it's going to happen, right? We're going to be reviewing games here for the Nintendo Switch. We have, of course, Sonic Origins coming up next, and of course, Fire Emblem Three Hopes. Hopefully that continues to deliver like it has in the demo. But it's our first negative one, and, you know, it's definitely not the title I expected. It's really not. I thought it would be a little more obvious because this game looked so solid from the outside, and I guess the tip of the cap to the Nintendo marketing team. But yeah, Mario Strikers is not a game I can recommend at launch. Again, if you do pick it up, it's not like you're going to get a bad game. Just I think the content there is so bare bones. Your money's best spent elsewhere, and then on a rare sunny day where Nintendo decides to put a game on sale like this towards the holidays will probably be the best time to pick it up when there is undoubtedly more content for the game. And if the pace of Mario Golf is anything to go off of, we should be getting that content pretty quickly. I remember being very surprised with a direct that followed up the release of Mario Golf where they were like, hey, check this out, new course and a new mode today, plus a new golfer. That was nice. That's the other thing. Almost forgot to mention this. The roster is thin. You know, with so much customization, and there's a focus on that in the football club mode that you can play online with friends, I was thinking like, oh, they're going to have at least a sizable roster because everyone's going to be playing as different characters, right? No, like immediately there was overlaps in my first online lobby, 2 Yoshis, 2 Toads. And I thought this is just not enough. It's just not enough. So I walk away from Mario Strikers very disappointed. Can't recommend this one. Save your money. And if Nintendo had a better refund policy for digital games, I promise you I would have stopped around, if it's like Steam, the 2-hour mark, and been like, no. I want my money back. And that's, y'all know me. I do this for a living. This is my job. This is my pride and joy. It's very rare I can't even think of a time I played a game in the last like 5 years and went, yeah, have this back for the time being. Like, I do not return video games because I usually find something to do with them. But this was one I was just like, maybe later. But unfortunately, I can't. So it is what it is. Learn from me. Wait on this one. Not an awful game. Definitely a wait for a sale, though, until there's more content. Keep an eye on what Nintendo does in future directs and how they add content to it. See if that speaks to you. But right now, just not enough here. So that's all I have to say about Mario Strikers. What do you think about this game fire away in the comments down below. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing the thoughts on our first negative review of Retro Rebound. And with that, take great care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next Retro Rebound. Peace out.